Welcome to the 2013 KVIE Art Auction, celebrating 32 years of visual arts in our region. More than 250 pieces will be auctioned off to the highest bidder, and you can be a part of the action by watching and bidding on your favorite pieces. View the entire collection online at kvie.org/art auction. Then, when your favorite item appears, call 1-800-270-6601 to place your bid. You can also interact live with the auction team on Twitter using hashtag KVIE Arts. Remember to bid high and bid often. And now, let the auction begin. Sold.
Stay tuned for the Legacy Artist category coming up next on the KVIE Art Auction. This category celebrates the work of Northern California artists who are no longer with us, but have an ongoing legacy donation in support of the arts. View all of the categories featured in this year's auction at kvie.org/art auction. Bid high and bid often.
Welcome back to the final hour of the KVIE Art Auction. And this portion of KVIE's Art Auction is presented by the Nilo Company. We want to thank the Nilo Company for being so generous in supporting public television and art in the Central Valley. We really appreciate the support of Nilo. Now, let's take a quick look at all of the art up for auction in this next half hour. Item number 45A is Pee Wee Meets Paul, has a retail value of $2,100. Item number 45B is titled King by Arthur Sordillo, framed by Archival Framing, which you'll hear a little bit more about in just a couple of minutes. Retail value of $1,200, and we're going to start the bidding. Well, actually, it looks like it's $1,500, but we're going to get that anyway, right? We have to start bidding.
Oh, that's right.
Item number 45C is Untitled by Harry Fonseca, also framed by Archival Framing, has a retail value of $2,700. Item number 45D is Riverscape number 1 by Larry Weldon, and that's framed by Skyline 1 Framing, has a value of $600. Nope, and there we go. The last, 45E, Flower Child 1967 by Clayton Pinkerton, retail value of $3,000. And the final piece in this half hour is Subterranean, and it's framed by Archival Framing with a value of $1,500. So now you've been introduced to some of the art, and I'm going to introduce you to Dee Neath. She's here with us to close the final hour of the art auction. Dee, tell us a little bit more about 45A.
Okay, well, I'm going to start off by saying this is the Legacy Hour. These artists are all near and dear to my heart. They all made these gifts to KVIE. So if I get a little verklempt during talking about the work, now you know why. This first piece is by a really dear friend of mine, Margaret May. She passed away a little while ago. It was donated graciously through Margaret's estate. It's a pastel on sandpaper. It's got the whimsical little figures that she's known for, and it is got Pee Wee Herman in it. He's right there in his little trademark suit. Margaret just loved his show. She just thought he was the funniest thing going on. She's a big David Letterman fan. Remember when he used to be on David Letterman way back when? Way back when. That's where he started.
There's a lot of Pee-wees in there, aren't there?
That's right.
That's Pee-wee right here, too.
That's Pee-wee looking at himself again. The amazing thing about Margaret's work is she does pastel on sandpaper. She was one of the first artists that started doing the pastel on sandpaper. The pastel sticks really nice, so you can get really super vibrant colors without it looking kind of powdery. That's why it has almost kind of a paint quality to it. Obviously, she loves Chagall. It's kind of got that sweet innocence. Margaret was not only a World War II veteran, but she was also formerly a nun. So her work kind of always has that really sweet innocence to it.
A nun who loved Pee Wee Herman.
There you go. At the
Wait, hold that thought.
Yeah.
Hold it, because you know why? We're going to check in with Heath.
Okay.
All
I'm
right.
holding.
We are going to check with Heath really quickly because I'm here with Mr. Big. He currently has a bid of $1,000 on him. This is Eric Dahlin's piece. And I wanted to let you know that you can actually watch Eric work in Midtown Sacramento every single week at Clay Time at 27th and O Street. You can see him creating his craft. And one of those beautiful pieces, which he created just for us at the KVIE Art Auction, is Mr. Big. We've got a high bid of $1,000. Now's the time to get in. I'm going to give you 1 minute to place the call and be talking to a volunteer to get in on the bidding on this piece, like that person. 44F, the final William. If you want to walk with me over this way, we're going to look at the final William. Come on, Karen. Follow me over. All right, final William right here has a bid of $1,500 on it. You also get 1 minute to get on the phone with a volunteer, and we're going to bid these items out. Now is the time to get a beautiful piece of art, make it part of your collection, and what a statement piece this will be. And now we're going to send it back to David and Dee.
That's right. We're looking for our first bid right now on 45A, and we're looking for a bid of just $500. You can see the retail value there is $2,100. $500 gets you in on the action. So please call 1-800-270-6601 with your first bid.
And these are very well-known Sacramento artists that we're going through in the next half hour. Margaret May was represented by the Michael Himovitz Gallery. In fact, he was a huge collector of Margaret's work. She studied with James Etsy. We sold one of his pieces last night. What I love about Margaret is, as an older lady, I'd be willing to guess probably in her late 60s, probably late 70s. She actually went to Oxford University in England to study art, sort of restudy art. So she's a vibrant part of the Sacramento art community. She has pieces in everyone's collection, including my own. I happen to own 2 of her works. This piece is a great way to celebrate Sacramento and to celebrate a little fun with Pee Wee Herman.
Well, and it's a great opportunity too. It's so accessible at just $500. Again, towards a retail value of $2,100. Someone could be really happy if they get to walk away with this at $500.
And what I love about Margaret's work is it sort of transcends age groups. You know, serious collectors love her work, but children love to look at her work. Everybody sees a different story.
And we do have a bid of $500, and we're going to move on, though, to another piece. We'll keep that item open, but it's not going to stay open for too long, so you need to call and start the bidding. But we're now moving on to item number 45B. This is King by Arthur Sordillo. Has a retail value of $1,500. And Dee, tell us a little bit more about the artist and this piece.
Arthur Sordillo passed away in April of this year, and we lost a really great Sacramento artist. He's lived in the New York area for the past 20 years, but he was originally born here. Very active in the music community and the art community all through the 70s and 80s here. This piece is fairly recent. It was done in the late 90s. It's actually done with cut paper. This looks like a plain white piece of paper because you're watching it on a TV screen, which makes things kind of flat.
Sure.
It's been painted. So it's actually completely painted white. This is completely cut out of black paper. That's a lot of scissor work.
And it's floating off of here as well.
Yeah,
I can see that.
It floats on top so you can see the edges. This is cut paper work. This is stencil work. And there's actually white brush marks all through here. So he's kind of got that. He was one of the first artists to do that sort of gritty kind of urban feel way before it became popular earlier this year.
There's something about this piece, maybe you know a little bit more about it, but it's very striking, like a brand. I mean, it feels like it's something that could be on a product, or on a T-shirt.
He was really enamored with street artists who use stencil art. Obviously, there's also a little hearkening to the whole Mexican cut paper pieces that you see often that celebrate things. The crown is really common imagery for him. So this is a nice piece for a collector. It's one of the smaller pieces. Arthur does pieces that were like 30 feet long.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you want a Sordillo, here's one you can actually get in your car.
And again, so right now we're looking for the first bid of just $350. That'll put you in the lead for this piece called King.
And we will be having a memorial exhibition for him at the Archival Gallery in October. Really well-known artist friends of his like Jack Ogden and Irving Marcus and D.L. Thomas will all be showing. He's a painter's painter. He was super well respected by other artists in the community and really well collected. I'm waiting for those phones to start ringing.
Well, and if
for
someone bids on that,
want
they can
his
go to
piece.
that memorial and they can say, yeah, I own an original. I
Yeah.
have one.
And just an important piece of Sacramento art history. And here it is at the KVIE Art Auction.
And it could be something that is soon going to be in your home, your office, or you could even buy it and then donate it maybe to a local museum, something
Or a
like
school.
that.
Yeah, there
Sure.
you go.
We're going to check in with Heath.
Pee Wee meets Paul. That's what I'm standing next to right here. $500 is the high bid on this item, 45A. Folks, this has a retail value of $2,100. Now is the time for you to sneak in on that $500 bid. Take us up to $600 and you'll be the next high bidder on this piece. And let's get that auction going. This is the final hour of the auction. We've been live all weekend long to make sure that you get a chance for some beautiful pieces of Northern California art. As a reminder, the artists donate 100% of these pieces in support of KVIE Public Television. They don't get a cut of the sales. All of that money goes directly to support the programs that you enjoy every day on your local PBS station, KVIE. So that means this is making it possible for all of the children's programming, Masterpiece, Nova, Nature, every show that you love. So why not place a bid right now on Pee Wee Meets Paul 45A? Call the number on your screen, tell the volunteer that that's what you want. $500 is the current bid. Let's bring it up to $600 right now. And now we'll send it back over to David and Dee.
And we're still looking for the opening bid for Arthur Sordillo, but we're moving on over here to item 45C, Untitled by Harry Fonseca, a retail value of $2,700. Dee, tell us a little bit more about the artist and the piece.
This is by Henry Fonseca. He's not been with us for a couple years, but he was active showing here in the Sacramento area. He was part of the University of California in Sacramento art community there for a while. It is a signed print. The difference between this print and some of the prints that you see nowadays is this is a hand-pulled silk screen. That means the artist put the ink on the paper all by himself. It wasn't run through a machine. It wasn't anything like that. His work is in the Crocker. His prints are in the Crocker. The city of Sacramento owns one of his prints. Highly collectible.
Very interesting frame as well. I don't want to touch it, but you can touch it if you are the winning bidder.
It's got a silver leaf Italian frame on it with kind of a nice little pattern, sort of pulls up this little checkered pattern. And I love the whole little bevy of cows back here that are singing back up for the coyote. He loved doing, he did a whole coyote series, and he used the coyote as sort of a metaphor of, you know, the coyote is the jokester, the coyote is the guy who gets in trouble.
Well, and there's definitely something very whimsical about this piece.
Gotta enjoy those pink opera-length gloves.
And he was a member of the Royal Chicano Air Force.
He was in that era and with those guys. Again, you know, you've got some remarking that's been done by hand here. The squares are all hand colored in. It sits on a linen mat so you can see the nice deckled edge. What a fun piece if you've got a music room, put it next to your big piano. And
don't you want to own something that the city owns? I mean, the city collects him. Now you can too. Item number 45C, retail value of $2,700. You can see it's a substantial work of art here, and we're looking for an opening bid of just $810.
I'm not going to start calling names, but I know there are 3 or 4 people out there who collect this artist pretty heavy duty, and you're not going to be able to touch a piece of his at this price that it's sitting at right now.
Well, you heard it from Dee, so if you're one of those 3 or 4 people, you know who you are.
I know.
But if you're not one of those,
TV.
you still heard from Dee about how great this piece is and how important it is for you to call in and be the high bidder.
And of course, I love the bright pinks, and it sort of has kind of a retro feel. I love the fact that he's chosen a coyote to make into sort of a torch singer. If you have someone who's into music, someone who loves to sing, what a fun gift to give them.
You know who else loves to sing? Heath Buckmaster.
Heath Buckmaster.
We're going to check in with Heath.
You did not.
You did.
Okay, so What are we talking? Arthur Sordillo. That's the piece we've got next to us right here. This is King 45B. We don't have a bid on this item, folks. Don't let this item get out of your grasp. Let's make those phones ring. 1-800-270-6601. I'm here with Jessica Dunham Brown. She is our fundraising events coordinator here at KVIE. Just recently got married. This would make a beautiful gift for someone who just got married or someone who you want to give it to as a gift for a special occasion. An Arthur Sordillo piece is certainly a special occasion piece. You're looking at King. We're looking for a bid of $350 to start the bidding off for the auction of this item. I want to recap that 45A, Pee Wee Meets Paul, has a high bid of $500. I'm going to give you one more minute to call in on that piece too. Get on the phone with a volunteer. Tell them you want that piece of art. 45B, King. We're looking for a starting bid of $350. Let's make those phones ring. It's an 800 number call. It's free for you to call and then start placing bids in the auction and help support your local PBS station. And now let's head back over to the lovely David and Dee.
And Arthur was very generous as well. Dee was just telling me that one time he won an artist award for the KVIE Art Auction and he donated the money back to KVIE.
I know, he just
so
handed
generous.
the check back. He said, why would I want money from KVIE when I'm giving you art? Take your $100 and there you go.
Well, I know we have a high bid right now of $350, so that one's starting. That's great. It's an auction. But we're moving on to item number 45D. You can see it's Riverscape, #1 by Larry Weldon, retail value of $600. And we're going to take an opening bid of $180. Tell us a little bit more.
$180, I can't believe that.
That's just the opening bid. It's going to go much higher.
I know, we lost dear Larry earlier. I think it was actually this year or late last year. He was everybody's favorite watercolorist here in Sacramento. He showed here for years. His son Jay, who's very talented, shows locally at the Matt Bolt Gallery. They just did a retrospect of his at the Matt Bolt Gallery, and Victoria Dalkey with the Bee had nothing but glowing things to say about Larry's skills.
Well, and you can see the reflection.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Really amazing.
You know, he painted watercolors with a loose hand. He definitely had his own style. He taught watercolor for years. This is a print that was originally exhibited at the Solomon Dubnik Gallery. It's an artist proof. It's been remarked, so it's a one-of-a-kind print, even though it is a print. It's been beautifully framed with a little colored mat. It's ready to go home. It's got Sacramento written all over it.
And it's signed by the artist. You can see right there.
It is signed by the artist in the corner. It's a rare chance. You know, a lot of Larry's work is not available now. So you're buying stuff through the secondary market. Here's a chance to be the first owner of this piece.
And again, $180 gets you in on the action on this one, and we'll hopefully go towards that retail value of $600. But again, for an opening bid of just $180.
And if you want to learn more about Larry, he does have a website, LarryWeldon.com. Very well-known Sacramento artist. I'm sure, you know, friend of David Lobenberg's. Was a painter's painter. We lost a good friend in the art community when we lost Larry. This is a nice way to start your collection of classic Sacramento art is with a Larry Weldon print.
Well, and it looks like we have some action on here. We had a bid of $200. I see now a bid of $250. That'll be updated there very quickly. And we're going to go up in $50 increments. And looks like we've got ourselves an auction here.
It's about time. We've got a couple good bids coming in. Looks like we've got a bid on the, is that the Sordillo?
Yeah, we have a few of them, right?
Looking at your board.
You do your part, I'll do mine.
I know, it's late, I'm losing my voice. It's a Larry Weldon. That's all I need to say about this piece.
That's right. So while you're calling, there's another person who needs to do his job, and that's Heath.
I am over here next to Harry Fonseca's. It's untitled, which means that you get an opportunity to kind of think of it in the way that you want to think of it. But right now, the way I want you to think of it as, this is a piece I want to call in and bid on right now. $1,200 is the current piece, so we want to keep that bid going. Let's go for $1,300 and send it on up. I'm kind of next to this whole little singing group right here, although I'm not going to sing, even though David seems to think that that's what he wants me to do. I'm not sure that's how we want to end the the auction, David. All right, 45A, Pee Wee Meets Paul. There is still active bidding, $600, but it's not going to last for long. 45B King, that's the Arthur Sordillo piece. Thank you to the person who called in and placed a $500 bid on that item. Keep the bidding going. We want to keep it strong. 45C Untitled, current bid of $1,200. And now we're going to go over to David and Dee, and they're going to tell us about 45E Flower Child, 1967.
That's right, and here we are with that piece. Has a value of $3,000. We're going to look for an opening bid of $900 to get going. But Dee, tell us a little bit more about the piece and the artist.
Clayton Pinkerton was an amazing man. He passed away in the 90s. He left the remainder of his art to the town of Sutter Creek. He also left a beautiful building to the town of Sutter Creek to create a little museum. So he was very mindful of his community. He left a little bit of his work here to us at KVIE. This is a classic Clayton Pinkerton, 1967. It's made of plexiglass, which people are using all the time now, but nobody used it back then. It's got the bright pop art colors. Think Andy Warhol. Think what was going on back then. Clayton was right in there with him. It's a kind of a beautiful little portrait of a girl. It's got a lot of depth because there's a painting behind the plexi, so it's got about 3 layers to it. It's a really nice size piece. Clayton Pinkerton is beyond Sacramento artist. He was a teacher at the Oakland College of Arts and Crafts. Very important man in California art history.
And what people can't see at home is what's coming through with the face is all along the edge. So there's that gray edge all the way around,
Yeah,
which of course you can't see.
Yeah, it's a silvery gray canvas that's been stretched, and then it has the plexiglass painting put over the top of it, and he's actually etched through the paint so you can see that canvas coming through. It's very pop art. Those of you who are into the whole mid-century modern thing, if you're into pop art, if you love Warhol, this Clayton Pinkerton is a jewel.
And all of these are highly collectible artists. They're legacy artists. They're no longer with us, but the value of their art.
It's hard to get their pieces unless you're going through the resale market or unless you're going through the auction market. These were graciously left by their estates. We're very proud to have this Pinkerton. We only have two more auctions, then we won't have any more Pinkertons. He is in major collections all over Sacramento, including the Crocker Art Museum.
And he can be in your major collection at your home, at your office. All you have to do is call the number, have a major credit card, and something exciting is going on in there.
Or right here, Riverscape number 1 just hit retail, $600. But the bidding's not over. The bidding's not over. We've still got active bidding on it, so let's keep getting those phone calls in and bid this item up. Now I'm going to head over and we're going to talk about Untitled. So Untitled, which we talked about before, but this is such a great piece that we want to talk about one more time. $1,200 is the current bid on this item. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but you're going to be able to call it mine when you bid on it now and win and take it home as part of your collection. And as a reminder, if you've won any item in the auction this weekend, I'm going to tell you when you can come and pick it up. You can pick them up starting tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday from noon to 5 p.m. both days. And what a great feeling you're going to get when you walk into KVIE Studios and you see this piece wrapped securely waiting for you to pick it up. Now's the time, folks. 45B, we've got a high bid of $500. That's on the Arthur Sordillo piece. 45A is closed. So if you wanted 45A, sorry, folks, it's too late. That's what an auction's all about. So if you want 45B, King by Arthur Sordillo, you've got 1 minute to get on the phone and talk to these volunteers or we're going to close that item. 45C, Untitled. We're going to keep it open just for more than a minute. $1,200 is the current bid, and I just talked about our bell ringer of Riverscape number 1. It's now at $650, and I just see that for 45E Flower Child, the Clayton Pinkerton piece, just got an opening bid of $900. Some lucky person is going to take home a legacy artist piece, and you're going to be really proud that it's part of your collection. And now we're going to send it to David and Dee to talk about Subterranean.
That's right. It's the final piece in this half hour. And look, it is a substantial piece in terms of its size here. Lots of great colors coming through, but I'm not the art expert. I only know what I like, and I do like this. But Dee, tell me why I like it.
I'm getting.
Tell me why I like it, Dee.
No, I'm just getting a little verklempt because I really miss Don Reich. Don Reich was an amazing artist. We lost him year before last. I'm so sorry. He was one of those, again, a favorite artist among Sacramento painters. Can I get a Kleenex? He was largely self-taught, but in the 1960s, he was discovered by Adeliza at the Candy Store Gallery, which was a really famous gallery in Folsom that spawned a whole collection of really amazing artists that later became almost world famous. Don was very active in the music scene. In fact, in January, there's going to be a concert in his honor. A really well-known jazz pianist has done, thank you so much, a really well-known jazz pianist has done a bunch of compositions in Don's honor. This is a major piece for Don. It's a beautiful oil on canvas. It was graciously donated through his estate. We've got the bright colors that he's known for. He just recently, before he passed, had a very nice retrospect at the Crocker Art Museum. So I'm expecting some people that attended that to call.
Well, someone already has. We have a bid of $450. We want to see that move up in $100 increments. So the next bid, if you're going to call, is $550, and then it will go up from there.
Yeah, and this was one of the last series that Don completed. It was done in his studio on P Street, and I got the pleasure of picking it up and framing it. He worked very diligently right up until the end. Really amazing man, traveled, used the beauty of the world around us in his pieces. You can see that in these colors with that bright horizon and the mountain in the background. Just went everywhere, and it was just so kind of him to remember KVIE through his estate planning.
And you can see he signed it right there. 2010 was when he finished it.
So it's a very recent piece. It was shown at his memorial at the Temp Gallery on Del Paso Boulevard. Okay, I think I'm better now. Sorry. Just adore Don Reich. And his pieces are hard to come by. There's not a lot of work out there. He wasn't one of those artists that produced 10 paintings every week.
$550 to you if you want to be getting in on the action for a bid. We're going to check in with Heath in the phone bank.
Sorry.
Hey, I'm here with Megan, and we're also here with 45E Flower Child, 1967. The great news is this has an opening bid of $900 on it. The greater news is that it's still open for bidding. So 1-800-270-6601. Remember that number and call it right now, and then tell the volunteer that you want to bid on 45E Flower Child, 1967. This is a Clayton Pinkerton piece. And now I'm going to move over because I want to talk one more time about 45D, which is Riverscape number 1, because the bidding is still going on this piece. It's beyond a bell ringer, which means that every dollar above retail becomes a tax-deductible donation for you, the buyer, which is a great thing to have. $750 is the current bid on this item. I'm looking for it to go to $800 and keep on going until we've got one person left. And now we're going to send it back to David.
That's right. We have some pieces that are still open, but you have to call now, and we're going to introduce you to the next half hour of art very quickly, but we have more original art to bid on by coming up next on the KVIE Art Auction. Thanks again to our sponsor for the evening, the Nilo Company.
Thank you, Nilo.
Stay tuned for the California Masters category, coming up next on the KVIE Art Auction. Selected by curator D. Oldham Neath, this category recognizes the works of this region's amazing artists. Don't miss your chance to secure a piece from a California master. View all of the categories featured in this year's auction at kvie.org/art auction. Bid high and bid on.
And we're back. Let's take a quick look at all of the art up for auction in this last half hour of the KVIE Art Auction. Item number 46A, Corvetta, Mel Ramos, framed by Archival Framing, and has a value of $3,400, and it makes me want to buy a Corvette for some reason. 46B, The Lightness of Being, William Ishmael. It's a mixed media, has a retail value of $2,500. And you can see we already have a bid of $1,500 on that piece. Item number 46C is Greenfield by Lori Winthers. It's acrylic on board, a value of $650, and again has an opening bid already of $200. Item number 46D is Delta Riverside by Ning Ho. It's acrylic on board, a retail value of $2,400. The final two pieces in this half hour, the 46E is the Canvas Boat by Tu Nguyen, and it's oil on board, a value of $3,150. And the final piece of the KVIE Art Auction 2013 is Untitled Figures by Richard Dunning. It's oil on paper, has a retail value of $1,600. So there they are. You've been introduced to all of the art that's in this final half hour. Now, Dee, tell us a little bit more about Corvetta.
Okay, Mel Ramos, alive and well.
So you're not going to cry.
So I'm not going to cry. Love Mel. He's a Sacramento native. He now has his studio out in Oakland. The Crocker just did a huge retrospect for him in their new space in October of last year.
And did they make a book?
And they made a book.
They did. It's Mel Ramos, 50 Years of Superheroes, Nudes, and Other Pop Delights.
This piece is in that book. We're going to give you the book with the piece.
Yep. Winning bidder gets the book. You can see it's still in shrink wrap.
This is an artist proof print. Now, normally artist proofs are done. They're given to the artist for the artist to use as a special gifts. Sometimes they're given to the owner of the gallery. This is a special gift to KVIE from the artist. He is world renowned. I mean, I kind of feel almost silly talking about his resume because every art collector knows Mel Ramos. He's one of him and Wayne Thiebaud.
Well, I figured this would just sell itself. We didn't even have to say anything.
Yeah, we could just stand here.
A couple of minutes.
She's so good looking.
I didn't notice.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about this too is, for the people who really care about numbers, there were 50 of these made.
Yep.
Has a pretty low number of 10.
Yeah,
Some people care about the number.
Yeah, this is 10 out of 50. It is signed by the artist. He has all of his printing done in Spain at an amazing printing place. Not only does he donate to KVIE, his wife donated a piece that sold yesterday. They maintain very close ties to the Sacramento community.
And his wife sometimes is the subject.
Oh, yeah. He's used his wife.
Was it last year that we had Chiquita Banana?
Chiquita Banana.
Yes.
Obviously, he loves pop, the whole pop culture thing. The two things that Americans love most, good-looking women and fast cars, and you've got both of them right here.
Right now, we're looking for an opening bid of $1,000 towards our retail value of $3,400, and that can be you. So if you've been wanting to have a highly collectible piece in your home or office, this could be it.
He is world popular. In fact, a little personal thing, I have a gallery here in Sacramento. I just shipped 2 of his pieces to a collector in Germany. They're crazy for his work in Germany. He's very popular in Spain, very popular in the United States, obviously. His paintings, the reason we don't have a painting is because his paintings go for over $1 million.
That's what I was going to ask. I mean,
we could just sell one.
The original of this is out there somewhere and is worth a lot of money.
A small painting you can be real lucky to pick up for about $750,000, or you can have a house. But you don't need to sell your house to buy this one. Yeah,
very accessible. That's what the KVIE Art Auction is all about. Again, looking for an opening bid of just $1,000, and that's going to start the auction.
This is an investment piece. I have only bought 2 pieces in my entire life with the intent of I'm going to keep this because it's an investment. Both of them are Mel Ramos pieces. I own 4 altogether. 2 of them I bought just because I know that his work's got nowhere to go but up.
It's a beautiful piece, and I don't use that word lightly. All it takes is a major credit card to get in on the action. 800-270-6601.
Way more fun to invest in something like this than some portfolio that just sits in a
I know people are interested in this, and I think what's going to happen is they've just been waiting. And they're afraid of calling to start bidding it up, so they're going to try to swoop in. But it doesn't always work that way because someone else might come in and bid a little bit more, and all of a sudden you're out of the running. But call now on item number 46A. But we're moving over to 46B. It's The Lightness of Being by William Ishmael, and already has a bid of $1,500, and we're going to want to go up in $100 increments on that. Tell us a little bit more about the piece and the artist.
Well, William is besides just being a great guy, he was voted Sacramento's best artist last year by the Arts and Business Council, and it was well deserved. He gave us this piece. It's a really classic example of his work. He's very concerned with the zen of the circle, and you know, the non-ending circle, being able to meditate on his piece. His pieces have kind of a nice spiritual meditative quality to them. He's been painting for quite a few years, very popular here in Sacramento, and this is an excellent piece that he gave us. This isn't a study, this is a little masterpiece.
And there's a lot of depth, and I know you can see it there as well. Really, just it's a gorgeous piece. William is highly collectible. I know some of his pieces are going all around the United States, and you know, he's not just
he's
a
hot.
Exactly.
Yeah. He is definitely a hot artist. One of the things I really enjoy about his work is the surface, because there is no flat surface on here. There's a rough, sort of rusty quality to it. It's got this really nice organic feel. At the same time it's organic, it's really contemporary. You know, this is one of those pieces that would definitely become the focal point in any collection.
Well, I saw when the opening bid was made. It was at the preview party, and I was with the person when they made it. And I think that person will be very happy if no one else calls in. But
that's not how an auction
well,
works.
and you know what? I don't think that's going to happen, because I see we're going to be updated here. We have a $1,600 bid. So if that person, and she knows who I'm talking about, is watching right now and doesn't want this to slip away, she should call and get back in on the action.
And once again, I want to thank William for giving us this piece. When the artist gives us the piece, they are intending on that retail price to be donated to KVIE. So we really want to reach that retail price. It's what you would pay in a gallery. Just think of it as being able to shop in your pajamas.
There you go. If you're wearing them right now, or whatever you're wearing, you can just shop from home. It's just shop from home. But $1,600 is the current bid. We're looking for $1,700 to get this going. And then at some point, I don't know, are we going to check in with Heath? Or are they going to tell us? Maybe yes. Heath over at Corvette.
Well, let's check in with me. You know, you were talking about shopping in your pajamas or nothing at all. Corvette, this is the piece you want, right? We've got a high bid of $1,250, $1,250 on Corvette. The retail on this is $3,400, folks, 46A. So here's what you need to do. Pick up the phone. Call 1-800-270-6601 and tell our lovely phone bank volunteers from Friends of KVIE, give yourselves a hand, everybody, that you want to place a bid on 46A. We're looking for a high bid of $1,300 to be the next bid. Right now it's at $1,250. 46B, The Lightness of Being, has a bid of $1,600. And now I think we're going to go to David and Dee to talk about 46C.
That's right. We're over here with Greenfield. Has a value of $650. Already has a current bid of $200. And Dee, tell us a little bit more about this piece.
You know, I'm kind of cracking up because I'm not using my scripts. I don't even know why I have scripts out here. These people are household names in my house anyway. If you're a collector or you own a gallery, this is Lori Winters. She's one of Sacramento's big up-and-coming artists, hugely popular in the Carmel area. If this piece were in Carmel, it would definitely be much more than $650. It's a prime example of her work. You've got this really, really wonderful lush brush strokes. She does a really high varnish on her pieces, so they kind of have a nice, even sheen on them. Beautiful little piece, really easy to place any place in your home, just makes you happy looking at it.
Beautiful little piece, really does sum it up. It's gorgeous, and it's so tiny.
It's so tiny.
But there's such great detail on it still.
Yeah, that's what I love about Lori's work. Like I said, she shows it Catherine Dodd in Carmel. People love her stuff. She does beach scenes. Tim Collum, who was our best of show, is very enamored with Lori's work. She has a wonderful palette, matches my fingernails today. She has a wonderful palette, just a joy of an artist to work with, always donates to the auction.
And if you love this piece as much as Dee and I do, because we can't bid on it.
Yeah, I'm not allowed.
You can bid, you're the one who can. $250 will put you in the lead. We're gonna check in with Heath again.
Hey, 46A Corvetta, that's the one I was at before. That's the Mel Ramos piece. Whoops, sorry folks. You want to be able to hear this. This is important news. 46A, current bid $12.50. You can get in on the bidding, but the way you do it is you've got less than a couple minutes to get on the phone with one of our volunteers and make that call and make that bid. I am now standing next to 46B, the lightness of being. We have a bid of $1,500 on this piece. You can get in on the bidding. It's the same process, folks. Pick up the phone, dial the 800 number, which is a toll-free call for you, and then tell the volunteer the item number you want to bid and how much you want to bid. You don't want to miss out on taking home one of these beautiful, beautiful pieces from a master. And we've just talked about 46C, that's Green Field. We have a bid of $300. And now we're going to go to David and Dee to talk about 46D.
That's right. We're standing right next to Delta Riverside by Ning Ho, the Chinese artist who lives in Locke, collected all around the world, has been in the Crocker, again, a household name really in the artist community.
Yeah. Huge name, really well known for his Delta scenes. This is a beautiful example of his work, very painterly, lots of paint, lots of texture. I really enjoy the reflection we've got going on here. I'm not going to say it's California gold because he does it with a better accent, but it really is California gold. It's in one of Ning's handmade frames that he does himself. He has these constructed by a master framer who works with him in his studio in Locke. His studio is open for classes and things like that. You know, last year I was lucky enough to go up and help select some work for a huge show he did at the Temp here. This is a nice size piece for him. It's a smaller piece. Ning is famous for pieces that have to be stored in things like airplane hangars. He does a lot of very large commission work. He's done commission work for the city of Stockton. So it's your chance to own a little piece of California history right here from KVIE.
It's a great piece, and like you said, the scenery truly is part of California's gold.
I love to hear that accent.
But we're looking for an opening bid right now of just $700, well on its way then to a retail value of $2,400. And I hear something exciting going on in the phone bank, which I'm sure we'll be checking in with in just a minute, but it's always good news when we hear the bell.
I like to hear the bell. It's a Pavlovian thing.
Now, I know this piece had a lot of interest at the preview party. I know that there are a number of his collectors who were asking me what was the value of the piece, what's going to be the opening bid. So I know they're watching right now. They're probably just not wanting to call and bid and start that bidding war because it's going to happen.
You know, I hate to use like jargon because I don't know anything about television, but we have something tonight called a hard close, which means we can't go long. It's over when it's over, and we're getting really close to the end, which means you are not going to have time to hem and haw about these pieces. We need to get somebody on the Mel Ramos. I mean, that's an investment right there.
Right, and that, I believe, is still open at $1,250. But we do have our first bid on Delta Riverside at $700. We're going to move up in $100 increments. A long way to go to get to that retail.
It's got to go fast.
You know, you can call in and you can kind of swoop in ahead of someone if you want. You don't have to be the one to say $800. You can come in and say, I'm placing my bid right now for $1,000 or $1,500, and you can just kind of move yourself up in the front of the line, well in front of the line.
Well, and remember, anything over that retail is a donation. That means it's tax deductible.
Well, you gotta love that.
You gotta love that part.
KVIE loves that part.
KVIE absolutely loves that part. These are the big collector items that we've got going on right now. You hear those phones ringing, they're gonna go really fast. This beautiful Ning Ho piece, great piece of Sacramento history. You want to impress your clients? Do two things. Impress them by having beautiful art in your office, and then impress them even further by telling them that you bought it to support KVIE.
Or you could impress them even more by buying this for them.
Oh, as a gift, bribery is always good.
Well, it's not that. We do have a bid. So this is starting to move up. You can see we have a bid of $900. This is going to get into the thousands very quickly. Actually, probably the next bid will make that happen. But like I said, there's a good strategy here.
Here we go again.
Call in right now and put in $1,500, and you might see that you're going to be the #1 bidder on that. Our final two pieces of the half hour and of the KVIE Art Auction. The second to last one here is the Canvas Boat by 2 Win. It's oil on board, a value of $3,150. And if there are only some boat lovers around here.
Yeah, it's not like we don't have two rivers going on here in Sacramento.
That's just right in Sacramento. We have rivers all over the place in our viewing area.
Yeah, this artist has a BFA in painting from California State University in Long Beach. Again, another master's piece. It's beautifully floated in this frame. It's so California. I love the boats. If you've got a house up in Tahoe, if you're a boat aficionado, there is a million little stories going on in this piece. This is a whole separate little painting up here. We've got a whole separate painting here. It's one of those pieces you can spend quite a bit of time getting to know.
And maybe you don't own a boat, but by buying this piece, you can own a few boats. That's the way I like to look at it.
There you go. And this was, the imagery is actually from the Canvas Boat Center in Washington, in Seattle, Washington. He did the drawing, what they call plein air. That means he stood out on the boat dock, did the drawing, and then finished the painting in studio.
Plein air sounds a lot better than I was there in person and did it.
Yeah, I drug
I think
along
that's
my
the literal
sketchbook.
translation. But again, maybe you're a transplant from the Washington State area.
There you go. He's been in the Smith Regional Art Museum,
Hey, wait, hold
Sacramento
on.
Fine Arts Center.
We're going to check in with Heath and then we'll come back to that.
Imagine that.
We're going to see how good I am at walking and talking because we're going to talk about the first 4 pieces in this final break because they are all still open for active bidding. We have people on the phones bidding on these items. Corvetta 46A has a bid of $1,250. You need to come in right now with a bid of $1,300 and keep it going. You've got 1 minute to get on the phone with a volunteer and place the next bid. 46B is the lightness of being. We have a bid of $1,500 on that. Now is your opportunity to call in and talk to a volunteer. Tell them you want to bid on 46B. Now we're going to move on all the way over here. 46C is Green Field. This is already a bell ringer, but it is still going strong. We have a bid of $975 on this piece for Green Field. You don't want to miss out. Folks, make those phones ring. Help us end this auction strong by making a bid right now. And now let's move on to Delta Riverside. This piece is so close to being a bell ringer. This is Sning Ho's piece. We have a bid of $2,200. Let's keep it going, folks. $200 more. We've got a bell ringer. We love to ring those bells, and you know you love to hear them on air too. And now let's head over to David and Dee to finish off the Canvas Boat.
Okay, here I'm apologizing right now. I'd like to apologize
An on-air apology.
Miss Nguyen for calling her a he.
There you go. Apology accepted.
Apology accepted. It's late.
All
I'm
right.
a little.
You know, Heath is such a professional. They let him walk and talk. They have us stand still.
He has no gum. That's the problem.
There you go. We are looking for an opening bid right now on Canvas Boat for $945. Why that number? I don't know.
This artist has shown, you know, they always say from Maine to Spain, shown in India, shown all over the United States. She was originally born in Vietnam and was recognized by the UNICEF Corporation for her work early in her career. Classically trained, beautiful piece,
Oh, it's a
great
gorgeous
for
piece.
any boat lover.
Exactly, and we know that we have a lot of those in the area. So if you're one of them, call in, or if you have a loved one who you know would love this piece, it's very accessible right now at $945 would put you in as the first bidder. And we're hearing good news over there. That, I guarantee you, I know what it is. It's Delta Riverside. It made it. It made it as a bell ringer, so they're excited there.
Thank you,
but
Ning.
let's start working towards ringing the bell on the Canvas Boat. We want the first bid to come in right now, $945.
This is second to the last piece, hard close, people.
Yep,
We got to go. There's a great show
gonna
on
be
right
ending
after
at
this,
10
and
o'clock.
we
This
can't
is live.
cut into it.
But again, a gorgeous piece. If you love water, if you love boats, if you love Washington State,
If you love KVIE.
if you love, exactly. And maybe it can be yours. So you make that bid of $945, and if you're the only person who calls to bid,
That's
you
it.
would get that. Now, we want you to get it for about $3,000 because that's better for KVIE.
And we're
more
down
money
to
that
the
goes
end.
into the
Yeah,
programs.
like 4 minutes you got to make up your mind. That's about it. We've got 2 more pieces, and that's it. The auction is over. You'll have to wait until next year. So don't wait till next year. Call right now on this.
Yeah, and you don't want to kick yourself. You want to be able to say, you know what? I saw that piece, I called, and I'm so glad that I did. But now we are in front of the final piece of the KVIE Art Auction. It's Untitled Figures by Richard Dunning, retail value of $1,600. And as the camera shows us live, you're going to see how big of a piece this is.
This is a beautiful piece. One of the things that happens with studio lights and white is it has a tendency to blow out the white, which is why you don't see us wearing white on TV. This has the most amazing layers and layers and layers of paint in the background. Look how good our camera people are. You can see that now. It's not a plain white piece of paper. It's got layers of white paint. Richard Dunning, really well-known artist, started out making jewelry in college and later changed his major and became an art major. Also does poetry and things like that. Used to show with the Solomon Dubnik Gallery. He was one of Shirley Dubnik's favorite artists. I absolutely love this piece. It was a whole piece about human relationships, and it was called, the series was called The Lovers. I love the dark piece, the way the arm is entangled around this one. It's kind of a really sweet romantic piece. Very contemporary, very bold. It's going to look great in any room in your house. What a fun piece to put on a bright colored wall. I love the fact that people are painting their walls nowadays. Nobody needs white walls anymore. Anyway,
well, it doesn't matter what color the wall is, just put a lot of art up over it.
Yeah, that's it. And this piece just sings. This piece was also featured in an article in Sacramento Magazine, I think it was a year or two ago, about art collecting. This
piece was in it?
This piece was in that article because there's a picture of me
So you can
standing
have a
next to
great
it.
piece that's been written about, and you can see that the high bid is $600 right now. It's going to be updated actually, and then you can come in at $700, well below the retail value. But here to tell you something else about one of our other pieces still up for bid, Heath Buckmaster.
46B, the lightness of being, that's the one I'm standing next to right now. This has a high bid of $1,500, but A is closed. Corvette is closed. Remember, I told you the last time, if you weren't in talking to one of our volunteers, you were going to miss out. This piece is the same thing. Now is the time to call. You've got a minute to get on the phone with one of our volunteers. Place a bid higher than $1,500 so you can get in on the auction. Now we're going to go all the way over here and talk about 46D. This is Delta Riverside, and the reason why I want to stop here for just a second is because it's a bell ringer. Ring those bells.
Wow, look at
Delta
Lori.
Riverside is the bell ringer at
Next year I'm gonna
$2,400,
get
but
her
the
big
bidding
one
is
from
still going, so keep calling in and keep it strong.
Yeah.
Now we're going to head over to E, if I can sneak in here just really quickly. This is going to be an interesting shot because we got a lot of cameras in the studio here. 46E, the canvas boat. This currently has a bid of $1,000 on it, folks, but you need to get in on the bidding on 46E. Don't let the canvas boat slip out of your grasp, because in just a few minutes when this auction wraps up, you are going to miss out if you're not on the phone with one of our volunteers right now placing a bid. $3,100 value for this piece. We've now got a bid of $1,100. Thank you for that bid, but I want to see $1,200 and then see it keep on going. The great news is that Untitled Figures is now up to $750. So Dees, take it away.
We have new nicknames.
The double D.
It's getting late. Heath hasn't even been home in the last 3 days, I don't think. So
I saw him
he's getting a
sleeping in the
little
parking
crazy
lot.
now. We have a bid right now of $750. It'll be updated on your screen momentarily.
What a romantic piece. Buy this for your wife. Buy this as an engagement present.
Or early Valentine's Day,
Yeah,
or just any reason, really.
You know, as a married couple, we just had Jessica got married, and I gave them a piece of art for their wedding. You know, start somebody's collection with this. I really enjoy this piece. It's got such a crisp, contemporary feeling. Richard Dunning is just a great man. He's a great poet. This piece just sings.
And again, like you said, it had been written about in a magazine, so
And can we
it's
pan
a famous
up
type
here?
of piece.
We're showing it on a black wall. So I'm going to put my hand right here. It's in a very large black frame. See, I'm on the edge of the frame right there. You can't see the frame because it's up against black. So you put this on a white wall, a red wall, a colored wall, it is just going to pop. It's framed, it's ready to go, it's in a nice shadow box. You could have it on your wall tomorrow.
And we're off the air in less than 2 minutes. You're going to want to call now, 1-800-270-6601. Get your credit card handy. We take all the major ones. And if you call in with a bid of $850, you'll be in the lead. But we need you to call in now if you're interested in this piece, because we're going to be
It's done.
gone. We'll be away.
Today. Not till next year. There goes, see, there's the latecomers. They're ringing right now. There's still a couple other things open. Lori Winter's piece, which is an amazing little piece. We had a bell ringer on that one. We still have William Ishmael's piece. Major artist here in Sacramento. Don't leave the auction without purchasing one of these. And you've only got a minute and a half.
If you have the means, it's a great price at $1,500 is the current high bid. You can get that one for $1,600. We're going to be walking now, so we don't know exactly where we're going, but we're going to the phone bank. We're going to go see Heath, and it looks like we're going to start saying goodbye. And oh wow, it looks like we have bubbles and other things as well. But
Still got active bidding.
we still have active
We
bidding,
still
so
have
please
bidding.
call 800-270-6601. Make sure that you get your favorite piece. But
yes.
that wraps up the KVIE Art Auction. Thank you to all of our sponsors, the volunteers, the artists, all the people who's worked so hard, who are like Heath and the team. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for supporting KVIE. We're going to be back again next year with the KVIE Art Auction. But you can keep calling.
Are we going to be back? We're going to be back next year.
Thank you for all of your support. Have a great
See us next
evening.
year.
We'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.
We're still on.
We're still on?
Yeah.